It's funny. As I was making a video about the success of the Dallas sports teams compared to the Dallas Cowboys, I was looking back at Jason Kidd's career so far. It's amazing how he started. He started at Dallas, being drafted by Dallas in '94. He was the first round, second overall pick selected by him. Spent 2 years there, of course, before he was traded to the Phoenix Suns. Um, yeah, he was part of that what they call the three J's out in Dallas. He had Jim Jackson, Jamal Mashburn. I think even Jason Kidd was voted a starter in the '96 All-Star game as well, after being his first 2 years there. But that three J's in Dallas with Jim Jackson and Jamal Mashburn did not really it didn't really work. Um, Things got really bad. Mashburn had an injury. It was just immatureness between them. Supposedly, a certain R&B star got in the way. Who knows what really happened there? But like I said, Jason Kidd was soon traded to the Phoenix Suns when he entered the playoffs for the first time in his career. He was only there from '96 to 2001. And some personal things went on, but we ain't going to talk about that. But they really couldn't get past the hump in Phoenix. Because they had the Lakers, of course. He had the Lakers in that conference. And then he went to New Jersey in a trade for Stephon Marbury. And this is really, his career really took a upward climb. He was an MVP runner-up, went to the NBA Finals twice, but couldn't get past the Lakers, them damn Lakers, and them damn Spurs. Spent the next few years in New Jersey battling injuries and battering bad records, and then he was traded to where it all started at for him in his NBA career, the Dallas Mavericks, where he would win NBA championship in 2011 with Dirk Nowitzki in that magnificent run, and then finished his career in New York on the New York Knicks. And I think it was only a couple months later he became coach, which I thought at the time was crazy. It was crazy because he retired June 3rd, 2013, and funny, his announcement came 2 days after the co-rookie of the year that he got rookie of the year with Grant Hill. But it was only, it's amazing, it was only it was 12 days. It was literally 12 days when the Brooklyn Nets hired him as coach to replace intern coach PJ Carlesimo. That is crazy. Jason Kidd became the third person since the NBA merger's debut as an NBA coach the season after he retired. Apparently, he brought a minority ownership stake in the team from Jay-Z. Crazy. Then again, some people are like, why are you giving J.J. Redick flack? Well, there's a narrative behind J.J. Redick becoming coach. But Jason Kidd, his coaching career started out kind of wonky. He was suspended the first 2 games of the season due to a misdemeanor DWI that he had a year before. But his tenure in Brooklyn, it was subpar. He got the Nets to the playoffs a couple of times, losing 1 year to the Toronto Raptors. Not the Toronto Raptors, excuse me. They beat the Toronto Raptors, but would lose to the Miami Heat. Actually, Jason Kidd became the 19th rookie head coach in the league's history to coach his team in a decisive Game 7 on the road, becoming the first one to win it as a rookie head coach. But then they would lose to the Miami Heat, like I said before, in 5 games. And then only, which I always thought was weird, a year later, which is crazy to me, Only a year later, the Milwaukee Bucks end up securing Kidd's coaching rights for the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for 2 second-round draft picks in 2015 and 2019. The reason for this, it said that Kidd had been seeking more management power over the Nets general manager Billy King, and after being denied, began talks with the Bucks, even though they still had a coach under contract in Larry Drew. And I actually remember when this happened, almost 20 years ago, almost 10 years ago, and I thought it was weird. He later stated that he felt the Nets truly did not want him. This is Kidd saying this, nor were they committed to building a contender. And his return to Brooklyn on November 19, 2014, he was greeted with boos and jeers. But under Jason Kidd, under his guidance, the young Milwaukee Bucks team would go from 15 wins the year before to 41, becoming a 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. And they did all of this because this is the same year when Jabari Parker was drafted number 2 overall, and he lost him to ACL, and this is after Giannis's rookie year. And also they got Brandon Knight in the trade that year too. And Jason Kidd became the first coach in NBA history to lead 2 franchises, 2 playoffs in his first 2 years as head coach. He also finished 3rd in voting for the coach of the year behind future Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer and Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr may have won it that. It may have Budenholzer may have won it that year. But 2015-16 season, it didn't go too well. The Bucks finished 39-49. Not 39-49. It's impossible. 33-49. They could not get to the playoffs. Everyone was out on injury. Even Jason Kidd, who will undergo a hip surgery December 21st. I think the only claim to the fame this season was the Bucks beating the, at the time, undefeated Golden State Warriors, who was on that huge ass streak. That's the only claim to fame the Bucks had that year. But the Bucks were slowly rising. They were slowly rising because Giannis was slowly rising. And in weird twist of things, Jason Kidd had Giannis playing the point guard position. But Giannis got 5 triple-doubles that season too. So I guess it worked out somewhat. But the Bucks let Jason Kidd stay young, even with the bad record due to all the injuries and everything. Also, in the win was a contract year for Jason Kidd. But the next season, not so much. 16-17 season. Didn't go too well for him. Chris Middleton, in the beginning of that season, I think he tore his hamstring or something like that. And then Jabari Parker went down again with an ACL injury. I think it was to the other knee. But the Bucks would finish 42-40. And they almost got to the next round against the Toronto Raptors. They took a 2-1 series lead, but they lost in 6. And then the next year, 2017-18 season, despite having a 23-22 record midway through the season, they fired him, which was a bad look for some, well, in the eyes of some of the players. And then Jason Kidd will become an assistant head coach with the Los Angeles Lakers. And the next season, they will win a championship in the bubble against Miami. They said it's his second NBA championship, but it was his first championship as a coach at any level, of course. And then the summer of 2021, after the Bucks won, the NBA Finals, was funny. Rick Carlisle decided to resign, mainly because there was issues going on with Luka, and I guess Luka and Rick Carlisle didn't really get along, allegedly. And this is what Jason Kidd did his first year as head coach of the Dallas Mavericks in the 2021-22 season. I said that wrong. He helped the Mavericks get to a 52-30 record, fourth seed in the Western Conference. Best record since the 2014-15 season when they actually finished 50-32. Highest standing since the 2010-11 season when he won it all, with Jason Kidd being on that team. And I guess Jason Kidd boosted the Dallas Mavericks defense because with Luka, I don't think the mentality for defense was there, and the defense was piss poor the year before that, and a couple years before that. But in that year, the Dallas Mavericks under Jason Kidd will beat the Utah Jazz in 6 games, and then the Phoenix Suns in a very hilarious 7 games, especially Game 7. The number 1 Phoenix Suns, I should say. And then they would advance to the Western Conference Finals when they lost in 5 games. And then in the next season, as we all know, the 22-23 season, it wasn't great. Some people felt like the Dallas Mavericks, decided to, I wouldn't say choke, but decided to do what the Philadelphia 76ers did in the mid-2000s. They went to a 38-44 record, didn't get to the playoffs, but they did get Kyrie Irving. That year they got him. So now, as we see it, Jason Kidd has led the Dallas Mavericks once again to the Western Conference Finals, and now to the NBA Finals. Amazing. And he was actually on May 6th of this year, he signed a multi-year contract extension. Despite not getting to the playoffs the last season and also losing Jalen Brunson. But good thing they had supposedly the great mind of Mark Cuban being patient with this team, and Nico Harrison, which this says down here, along with Jason Kidd and Mark Cuban and Nico Harrison, has the credit with improving the organizational culture and creating an environment more favorable to the players than it was under Rick Carlisle. Like I just said, Luka didn't get along with Rick Carlisle. See, that's the thing that has been created with this team. There's a culture here now. Forget the super teams. Everyone knows their role. Jason Kidd got these guys knowing their role. Knowing what to do. They know who the stars are. Who the team is getting led by. They know it's going to be led by Luka. And it's going to be led by Kyrie. And it seems like Kyrie is a big fan of Jason Kidd. Makes sense. And they know everybody else, they got to follow in line with what the role is on the team. Everybody knows Luka and Kyrie are going to score. But Derrick Jones Jr., P.J. Washington, they know they got to play defense on those wings and shoot those good shots. Lively and Gafford, they ain't going to be a Shaq-like center or anything like that. But they know they got to play defense and clog up the paint and make it difficult for the opposing teams. And the other people I didn't mention, they know their role too to go out there and give tie and show up when needed to. Show them what they made of. And that's why, so far, the Dallas Mavericks have been successful. And I think Jason Kidd needs to be given more credit. I was hearing, before this plays even started, Jason Kidd is a bad coach. Jason Kidd is a bad coach. You got to look at where he came from. It's crazy. Hired only 12 days after retiring. Led the Nets to a playoff. Second round, got his rights traded to Milwaukee Bucks, got the Bucks to the playoffs twice, despite losing Chris Middleton for half a season and then losing the second overall pick of the 2014 draft, and Jabari Parker. Got them somewhere, got the Bucks competing. See, the Bucks have a history of, you think about it, the Bucks have a history of not giving coaches a fair shake, enough time. Now, it's amazing. You can kind of understand why they got rid of Jason Kidd with that record. They thought they would be better. But getting rid of Adrian Griffin at a 31-13 record. That's crazy. But moving on, Jason Kidd was able to help the Lakers, coach the Lakers to a bubble championship. Some of us don't think that's real. And then just changed the Dallas Mavericks. Just changed the Dallas Mavericks from being bottom feeders, because I think at this time before, I can't even say that, because Rick Carlisle got them actually to a playoffs during the bubble. But I'm just saying, he changed the negative tone that was going around the Dallas Mavericks and changed this into a positive tone when everybody is playing for each other and together. So you got to give some credit to Jason Kidd. But that's all I got to say. Sorry for sounding long-winded about it. I just had to go through all the events of Jason Kidd's coaching career. Shoot, if they end up winning an NBA Finals, and especially with Luka Doncic being young too, and this team being young, with the exception of Kyrie Irving being one of the oldest on this team, but he's able to replicate this again. Say that they win and they replicate it again. Jason Kidd has to go down as probably one of the better coaches in NBA history, and also has to be in the Hall of Fame once again as a coach. But time will tell, and we shall see what happens starting next week Thursday. But tell me what you guys think. Once again, sorry for being long-winded. I had to get everything out there.